Hi there, it's Charlie here, founder of the Life Success Academy and certified high performance coach. And last week I had this conversation 5 times. And it was this: Charlie, how do I know when my marriage or when my relationship with a significant other is over? And I've been going over this for, in some cases, 5 years, realizing, at the intuition level, I kind of feel like this might be done. But change is scary. Now I know this because I was married for, 13 and a half years. We'd been together 15, and we went through, that's about 10 years ago, I went through a divorce. It was really stressful, and it was an incredibly stressful time. Just thinking about it calls up some emotion. The reality of it was this: we went through, and I was so blessed to be trained by one of my coach friends at the time, Heather, to go over what was called the formula for change. And she had me do this very important exercise, and I hope this helps you if you're going through any of this. It may not be with your significant other. It might not be with your husband or wife, whatever that is. It might just be with somebody, they're not supporting me, or they're not somebody I want to be around anymore. And this formula not only applies to relationships, it applies in many other ways. But I'd love to go over it with you, and I'd love to challenge you to journal to this as I walk through it. And I'll tell you exactly what that means in just a minute if you're not familiar with how to journal or what that looks like. But this is how to tell whether it might be time to take a relationship, demote it. If I can give you one piece of advice from my life story, and again, this is my life journey, it's this. I aimed, once I realized that the marriage was over with my ex-wife, she's the mom to my girls, to not have the relationship be over. And it was really helpful for us because we became really good friends after that. And it was my goal to say, our marriage may be over and we may not be connected on all the levels we were here, but as we move forward in time, I want to be the best co-parent with you, and I still want to be a great friend. So I aimed to have a great friendship. Now, trust me, there was a lot of stress involved in that shift, a lot of emotion. I was bringing memories of the divorce that my parents went through, and I was bringing that sort of baggage into my divorce. But it was like, no, wait, I got to sort this out. That's their story. That's not my story. And I got to make this real for me. And of course, when you ask people, various people will have their own versions of what divorce means, and they'll bring their stuff into your equation. You got to be real clear on why you're doing it for you. Does that all make sense? So let's go through this formula for change. The very first part of it is D, and it stands for dissatisfaction of how things are now. So D, dissatisfaction for how things are now. And what we want to make sure of is this: you get really clear and you journal. And the way I do this to journal, just so if you haven't done it before, get a Word document out, if you're using the Mac, you might use Pages, or just get a notebook out and take one full page and write dissatisfaction. And just let your brain unleash. Get this out of your system. Just put it down on paper. Here's all the things I'm dissatisfied about. And make sure you list that articulately. What I mean by that is very emotionally, sensorially. They don't say things like, I don't like the way they talk to me. It's like, no, I don't like the way they look at me when I say certain things. I don't like the way that they respond when I'm a certain way. Like the emotions. I don't like the way they say this, the way they say that. If you decide to keep the relationship alive, this serves as a great catalyst to open conversation with them. Do that from a place of growth, making sure you're really bringing in the positivity. Dissatisfaction, the first part. Second is V, having a very clear vision for what's possible in the future. So take another page, vision at the top, document all the things that can be possible if the relationship, in this case, because that's the thing we're thinking through for change, isn't part of the equation anymore. And when I did this exercise, I was thinking through things like this. I'll live in my own high-rise condominium, which I live in 10 years later today. I will have less stuff. I ended up getting rid of 90% of my things during our divorce. I will be a guy and a dad of experience. What I mean by that is, lock the door and go to the park. Lock the door and just go enjoy life. And you see, if you follow me on Facebook, lock the door and go to Europe. Lock the door and go to Vegas. Lock the door and go and have some fun with people and really create great experience. So these are some of the things that I visioned. Now I challenge you this. Make sure you're very sensorial and emotional about it. What I mean by that is you've got to describe this at an emotional level. Really, really powerful. You get it? Cool. Next up is the F. And these are the first steps for change. Now this is the sort of the actionable piece. First steps. You sort of lay out an action list and say, you know what, at the very first steps, here's how it's going to work. So for me, when I was going through my story, I was like, well, first of all, I got to research places that would be great to have this new vision. I had to research condos. I found a really great one. I actually found 3, and I went and I toured them. So tour condos was the second piece. Really visualizing what that new experience could be like, and for my girl's sake, making sure, part of my first steps, make sure as I go through, what's around that we can do as a family together. Luckily, I live by a park. It's got a great open field. I grew up on 10 acres when I was young, so we can go out and play football and do all these kinds of things. And also, pools, hot tubs. If you follow me on Facebook, you know I'm in a hot tub a lot. So these were things that I considered as part of my first steps. Research, do this, do that. And it's not like I was aiming to make that real. I just wanted to know I had that option so that when I brought the conversation up, that maybe it's time to get divorced, which I know is a tough thing. It's really hard to even say that because there's a lot of emotion behind it for me. That I was able to come from a place of assuring that I had my plan in play, and I knew that I had myself taken care of. And I don't know where you're at right now, but if you're in a place like I was, really, really powerful to assure that you have that vision and these first steps in play to at least start going down a path where you can do it. And I'm here for you. The community of people that we've created, they're here for you. Just make sure you're open and explicit about that, at least with us. Some people in the world may not support you, and they may be people are like, why are you doing that? What's that all about? But know that, you know what? Life is life. We've got a short amount of time on this planet, and I hope you make the most of it. The last part of the formula for change is when all this stuff is greater than the R, and the R is resistance, then you move forward on making that powerful change in your life. So we have, let's go over that formula one more time. D, dissatisfaction of where things are now. V, that vibrant vision for the future. The reason I put that in blue is if you ever read the book Blue Ocean Strategy, I think it's called, he talks about people of the blue, open mindset, abundance, those kind of things. That's what V is. That's what blue is to me. First steps, that's where the green's at, the money, the grass is greener. This is painting that picture for your best first steps moving forward, and you're giving yourself an action list. Again, 1 page for each of these letters. The dissatisfaction, the vision, the first steps, and then the R, resistance. And again, I didn't go over this, but a page for resistance. Why am I resisting the change? What are the emotions that come up for me? And there's usually 3 things we're afraid of. We're afraid of loss pain, that this change is going to bring on so much loss that I don't want to make the change. So get real with what the loss pain looks for you. We're afraid of process pain, that the process is going to crush me financially, it's going to crush me emotionally, it's going to crush my kids, it's going to crush all these things. You got to get to terms with that. Journal about what could be a process that wouldn't crush you in these areas. And then finally, we go through and we think through outcome pain, that the outcome isn't going to be as great as I think it could be, or the outcome's going to be scary because of these reasons. We got to shine a light on that and get clear with that. So I hope this helps. This has been everything to me. This is what was my catalyst for me going through my shift in my relationship. And again, I didn't say I killed the relationship with my ex-wife. It wasn't that at all. It was just taking it from a relationship of marriage to a relationship of friend. And it's, you know, I can say that and it sounds easy. It wasn't easy. It took a while to keep that dialed in, if you will. But that was my goal, was to be good friends or even great friends after this, for my sake and for my girl's sake. So I hope this helps. If you think of any ways that I can serve or help in the lines of life, business, internet, know that I'm here to help you have a passionate, profitable, productive, purposeful life in all those areas. So I'm here for you. Take care. Thanks so much. Have a good one. Bye-bye.